Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Zoobox Goes to the Movies. Except we can't go to the movies, so we stay home and we watch whatever is given to us. Scrap. Bread thrown at us from celebrities making Instagram videos and sometimes even dropping entire hour-long specials out of nowhere.
That's what I like.
Louis C.K., the former, still pretty great comedian. Well, what did you think of Louis C.K. Before he had to fuck off for 2 years? Or has it been that?
Before?
Been that long?
It's 2017 was his last special, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think it was right after that came out.
It was at least 2018, since I think that's when all that stuff came up.
Yeah,
it was 2018 about him masturbating in front of people. Going back to his before, his TV show was great, kind of telling in a weird way.
Yeah, there was a lot of almost confessional type sketches, a lot of masturbation, a lot of sex fetish stuff. Yeah,
I'm just getting worried that he might be a pedophile or something. He's always talking about fucking kids.
That'd be real.
But then again, we joke about it a lot too. So, Hey.
Well, you said it, buddy.
Hey, you said it. No, but there's, I think Louis C.K. He was one of my favorite comedians. He's right up there with Dave Chappelle as far as his stand-ups are always really good. They all were always solid. His show Louis was really good. I mean, it was fun and the kind of comedy that I get, and it's kind of that awkward comedy, a lot like maybe a kind of like Curb Your Enthusiasm. He gets himself in all these situations. You know what I mean? It's him. Yeah. It's not like by effect of something else. It's always how he reacts to stuff is how he ends up.
Yeah. Well, because he juxtaposes his personality to whatever situation he's in, and that's how you see the world through the prism of his eyes. Kind of like you said, like Larry David. Like he kind of comes across seemingly mundane things, but when you see it through his eyes, it's either that or I'm just I feel like a kinship with people like Larry David and Louis C.K. and
they just hate everything.
It's this really cynical, what the fuck? What the fuck are you doing? Shut up. Constantly, Carefully, the bottom of your microphone cord, you're getting a lot of
Oh, sorry. Is it bad?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I don't know what it's hitting, but...
Is it fine?
Yeah, it should be fine now.
I mean, I'm moving it. I don't know. No, I mean, I just enjoy that type of comedy between that kind of... He is a piece of shit, but he knows it, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, there's gradations of being a piece of shit, right? He's not a real piece of shit, but he's a grumpy, a cynical person. And you see things, but not always cynical, though, because he always has, a silver lining about, a positive thing kind of skewing at the end of his jokes, and he's always really the butt of the joke. It's not so much the situation or the people that he comes into contact with. It's usually he makes himself the butt of the
That's
joke.
Why it reminds me of Curb, his show. And they both are playing themselves too.
Yeah, I would say Larry David definitely makes himself the butt of the joke half the time. Larry David, I think, has got a little bit more of a persona where he can get away with it. He's just nah, that's you.
Yeah.
You fucking line cutter. You're a fucking line cutter. That's what you are.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's his reaction, right? He's always good to go. But this is
I've been following him for years. I would put him. He probably was my favorite working comedian for a long time.
Yeah, once Dave Chappelle kind of took a step back for a couple
years.
Dave
Chappelle disappeared for 15 years, a decade, whatever. Louis C.K. kind of slowly built a solid following. Him dropping this special on his website is not really even that weird for him. He used to do this. He did it for years. He would put out just random sets, audio recordings. You go buy $5. He actually self-produced an entire teleplay called Horace and Pete, starring him, Steve Buscemi, a bunch of his comic friends, Edie Falco. You ever see Sopranos? Mrs. Soprano. She was in it. And it's, and that was, depending if you're, I don't know. I don't even know how I feel about Horace and Pete anymore. It's been so long since I've seen it. But, but he would just drop it. Just randomly, one day it would be there,
That's cool. And this is
So,
obviously more of a tactical move, being everyone's on quarantine. You
well,
probably got a
apparently,
higher chance.
I was reading something. I read a few articles just in preparation for this throughout the day today, and he recorded this on March 17th. That's how fast this came together. He recorded it, cut it together, put it out.
Pretty
So
good.
what? It's like
Pretty good.
must be right before the lockdown. Apparently, he's been working on this hour for the past like 6 or 7 months. I believe
Yeah.
I even saw a video on YouTube. It's like Joe Rogan let slip that Louis is about to
three
record his
weeks
new
ago,
hour.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was like 3 weeks ago.
yeah.
Well, there was also, there's been, he's been traveling the world doing his set. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's been out there, and there was some backlash about that probably a year ago when he started back up, kind of tinkering around, going to little nightclubs or comedy
Yeah.
clubs and doing stuff.
Somebody,
So,
one of the articles I read even kind of said that like that set that leaked a year ago was
mhm.
like basically the rough sketch, the rough outline of
Yeah,
what this ended up being.
yeah.
So what were your general thoughts? What did you think? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's good comedy. It's exactly what you would expect from a Louis C.K. Special. What an hour!
Yeah.
Uh, I would say he came out. It's one of those things where you put a guy, you try to put yourself from. This is the first time where, as a viewer, if you know, and obviously people who are going to watch this are probably fans of or know well of him.
Well,
They're
especially
most
because
like
you gotta pay it for it. It's not like it's on Netflix or something
right.
like that where
You're
it's
not
easily
going to happen
accessible.
by it. So I'm going to imagine being the viewer. I imagine a lot of people are going to feel this way. You kind of are coming at him with a little bit of sympathy. So you're kind of subvert your expectations a little bit. You're like, okay, hey, it's been a little bit, but I really felt good watching it. Like, he's still good. Like he didn't let it get him down, to the point where
Yeah,
it
yeah.
sucks.
It's like he didn't miss a beat.
Yeah, like
It
he
feels
still
it's so on par with his other
yeah
specials. And I'm not like I don't think everything Louis has ever done is like amazing, but he's always been very solid. And
yeah
that especially even like the last one he put out, 2017, was a fantastic tight hour like of broad
yeah
comedy. When I
yeah.
say broad, I mean like you can appreciate everything he said even if you disagreed with him. Like he just has this way of kind of bringing you over to his perspective and his point of view.
Like retarded.
Well, that was, like I will say this is maybe a small criticism or whatever. I don't know. Like his specials have a structure, and there's always one thing. There's always a bit in there
How
where
about
he
retarded?
no about word
Oh
games or
yeah.
about a
Oh
word that
yeah.
follows. Like
Because
the
the other
one
one
the one
was
was
yeah
faggot. He did
and
faggot, and
yeah.
he's also played. I can't remember what it was in 2017. He did a word like it was
I
another one of
you
these
know
word
I know
games.
what word is. I'm pretty sure.
What cunt? No, but he
No
said cunt in this one.
no
Oh, the N word. That was
yeah
back in the day because he had
yeah
a N word bit,
yeah.
which he said on national television in front of Chris Rock. Chris Rock laughed.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, that wasn't the bit, but he has like a really funny like where does the N word come from joke. It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
oh, there's some black guy over there and he was acting like an N word,
Yeah.
and then somebody saw him and said, oh, you're an N
It,
word.
it takes it, and he's still what's the word? I don't know if I want to use the word. He has courage, but it feels like there's some sense of courage to go back out there and not give in to the expectations of how you should act after being confronted with a horrible PR stunt.
Yeah,
Like it's not the typical reaction you would see. Like Aziz Ansari, I thought that's why I loved his special. Something similar, something to do in the sexual nature.
I
Embarrassing, and
I
it's
thought
really just embarrassing.
yeah
That's the tough thing about it.
he was in a situation that was much more just there wasn't like really that much weird power dynamics or whatever. Not in the same way that people were accusing Louis of, whether you believe that or not. But I think I would say the ironic thing about calling this sincerely is that it's not really that sincere, and he does not feel that he really needs to apologize to people, which is fine. I don't really have a problem with that. Uh, when the Aziz Ansari one, that entire thing is like a
Yeah.
not sorrowful, but it's an apology hour, like of him being
No,
like, I didn't know, and I don't think I did anything wrong, but I'm still sorry I made somebody feel that
no.
way.
I
Like,
think. That was like 1 minute of it. I guess maybe that's how he really feels. Maybe he really does feel sorry. But I think his hour was more about it can be taken away. That's
Sure,
really
no,
what it was about.
but yes, and it was about cancel culture in general. It was much more directly about that. Whereas this Louis C.K. hour, sincerely, he basically it's 10 minutes of the hour. He talks about it for 10 minutes.
And that's near the end.
It doesn't paint the whole special.
No,
it's
exactly.
The special is not about that. So I thought calling it sincerely was a little weird because it's like I expect
go fuck yourself.
Maybe actually, yeah, maybe.
Probably.
I mean, I expected it to be not be more, but more pointed material about that stuff. And I did not
with it, kind of.
And yes, of course he does. He makes reference to it because you can't not. You have to.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice. He didn't ignore it, but it wasn't what the special was about. And I think people expected this to be about that. And I wasn't mad, or some people are like upset that he didn't go far enough, or he said too little, or he didn't apologize, because he says and it was fucking funny. He was just like, if you ask somebody to jerk off in front of you, he's like, this is advice that only I can really give you.
Yeah.
Like,
and he's like, just
to jerk off in front of somebody, and they say yes, ask them again. Are you sure? And then
no. Yeah, no, he goes, basically that, but I just love the way he says it, because he just goes, all right, so can I, he's like, if you're going to ask somebody if you can masturbate in front of them, make sure they say yes. And if they say yes, ask them if you are sure. And then don't fucking do it, because like I just loved his timing. His timing was on point in this, though, and that's that. And I think you're right about the structure, because I was listening to Hilarious. I went back to 2010.
Yeah, you kind of
checked out. Yeah, it's a beat. It's a rhythm. He has a really good rhythm for it, and I would say even Dave Chappelle has that rhythm down in a way.
Well, what I mean,
it's more natural flow, but
I wouldn't say the cadence is like, because the cadence, people develop a natural cadence in the way they say things and their timing and their natural. Everybody has like an internal clock. A lot of comedians have their own internal clock when it comes to that stuff. What I meant is literally the structure of the set. So like the types of jokes, are kind of almost built the same way. Although I will say this, I thought the ending was kind of weak. I thought, like, why didn't you just end with the masturbation? So that would have been a better thing to. But I understand why he didn't, like, in a meta sense, where he's like, well, I don't want this. I don't want the
last thing people remember.
Yeah, I don't want the situation to be the last thing. All right.
What was the last thing he talks about? I can't even remember right now. What is it?
Yeah, it wasn't very memorable.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I've only seen it once, so.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it again before my time is through with it. But I can't really remember the.
It's a solid special, man. It was solid. I don't know which one is my favorite, but they're all good. They're all just solid. It's kind of like, for me, it's the same thing with Dave Chappelle. I love every single one of his specials. They're all got like really good bits. Really good bits.
I mean, I don't think he's ever surpassed Killing Them Softly, and I don't mean that in a derogatory sense. Like, that is just a perfect hour of comedy. Every joke is killer.
I thought his last one was good. I really liked his last.
No, I like them. I like them too. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying the other ones are bad. But Killing Them Softly is almost like a perfect comedy hour. Every bit hits like a home fucking run.
Yeah.
Every bit. Every bit.
One is Killing Them Softly, and then what's the other one from back in the day? There's two that are really big.
I can't remember the name.
I know, but I know Killing Them Softly. Is that the one with the Native American when he drops a piece of paper on? He's like, I had to make sure he was Native American. So he drops a gum wrapper on the ground. And he says, I saw one tear fall from his eye.
Yeah, Killing Them Softly is the one like with the guy jerking off in the bus.
Yeah.
The monkey with AIDS. Carefully you record there. The monkey with AIDS, like that kind of shit. I'm pretty sure that was where all the I think, it is those two that I used to watch like back to back. For What It's Worth, that's what it was. That's the that's what I was thinking of. For What It's Worth.
What's the other one? For What It's Worth.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
I just want a list of his fucking stand-ups, dude. Like, I don't need
it's whatever. But he's got some amazing stuff. I don't think he's ever put out a bad set. Not since I've known of him, and so probably since the early 2000s.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, Killing Them Softly and For What It's Worth. It was
Yep.
2004, and
Yep.
those are like both like fucking
Fantastic.
killer hours. I can't separate them in my mind because I would always watch one and be like, I gotta watch more, and then I would just watch,
Yeah.
and I'd watch.
I don't can't tell you how many times on YouTube I've spent watching just those Dave Chappelle specials. I've watched them a few times on there, so
Yeah, because you start watching like you just want to watch
a little
one
clip.
joke, and then you
Yeah,
end
and
up
you're like,
watching. You're like, fuck it, I'm gonna watch the whole thing. This is
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. No,
Especially
I've done that.
you get a little whiskey in you, and it's like 2 in the
Hey,
morning.
dude.
You're like, I'm gonna watch this, and then I end up watching more of them.
It's Louis C.K. He's had a lot of trial and error, and throughout his career. I mean, if you look back in his early, there was that TV show he had. It was only like 10 episodes on HBO.
Lucky Louie.
Yeah, that didn't really pan out. It was okay. It was a terrible
Well,
version
it
of
was
a
it was a
sitcom.
joke sitcom. Like it was
Yeah,
the
it was like King of Queens or something. Like
it was meant to
something
be
like
like almost a parody of King of Queens, like
yeah,
of that kind of show. Yes.
yeah.
And it's okay. I think I own it actually, and
It was on HBO. I
it was
watched
on
it.
HBO. It's okay. Like it's
Yeah,
not.
it's not that it's bad, but you can say that he's done things and it's failed.
I mean,
Didn't take off. Things
yeah,
didn't work
he
out.
was more of a writer for a
Yeah,
long time.
Conan, right? He wrote for Conan and all them.
That's where he got his big start. Then he wrote for the Dana Carvey show, which only lasted a season, but he was one of the head
Hmm.
writers for the Dana Carvey show. And then, I mean, he's directed a movie way back in the day. Most people don't realize that he directed Pootie Tang. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of or
No.
seen Pootie Tang. You've never even heard of Pootie Tang?
No.
It's like this really over the top blaxploitation satire.
Hmm.
And then he wrote and directed Pootie Tang.
That's
It's
awesome.
fucking. If you look up Pootie Tang, you will be like, "Wow, fuck this!" Because it's. Remember the movie Undercover Brother?
Yep.
Okay, it came out around the same time. It's got a similar vibe, but I would argue that it's funnier than Undercover Brother because I mean, Undercover Brother is kind of just okay. It's whatever. It's like a bad Austin Powers movie.
Yeah.
But Pootie Tang is just a fucking weird fucking movie. And this pasty Mexican Irish dude or whatever he is, like, is the one who directed it. Makes it even funnier.
Funnier, yeah.
Because it's so black specific. Like you
Yeah.
would think that a black person directed it and wrote it, but no. Louis
Hey,
C.K.
Louis in the culture, man. He knows. He knows.
He's in that culture.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I just don't see why anybody would hate on a guy for just jerking off. And I get it's the power. And this is my problem. This has been my whole problem with this Me Too movement. Is like someone like Aziz or Louis, guys who are innocent bystanders and their perversions or their sexual exploitations. Like they're not. You know what I mean? Like from what it seems like.
Well,
Like
I
Aziz.
think the Aziz Ansari thing is like literally he got done dirty because he had a bad date. Like that's all that is.
It's
a bad
beyond a
fucking
bad date. It's just like it
No,
sucks. I'm
no,
pulling the stickies off my headphones. I'm not picking up my ears. Just
No, well, I'm not. I would disagree. I would say it is just a bad date. Like it doesn't rise to national story. It should never
Right.
happen. It
Right,
doesn't
but that's-
deserve that at all. Like it's so unremarkable, other than the fact, like, oh, you went out with a girl. She came back to your place, and you guys kind of realized you're not very sexually compatible. You were kind of saying mixing or whatever. That shit happens. That happens sometimes when you're with a
Fuck,
person.
man. Fucking jeez, dude. It's happened to me a few times. I don't want to be out there, you know. I mean, like some awkward encounters where you make a move and shit's kind of shut the fuck down. And
I
you're
would
like,
say Louis is a little different in the sense that this was kind of a well-known thing.
no, but it's
Apparently in
sitting
his
there
circle,
like. Didn't the girls go on Joe Rogan? The ones that
no,
he
Or
did it.
they?
I thought they did. The two females. One, I know. I thought
No,
so. Maybe I'm wrong.
those were they. I think they talked about it, but those were just
Yeah.
two women who had like comedian women that had a podcast.
Oh, okay.
I don't, because the two women from the back in the '90s, one of the stories where he like stood in front of the door and jerked allegedly or whatever, they got out of the business, and they say it was because of those kind of interactions they decided not to follow their comedy dreams, which is whatever. I guess I
That's
don't know.
why. That's
I don't know
why
what
more
you
men
say
are
to that.
successful.
Like,
That's
okay.
why more men
But
are
it
successful.
it happened at a time where Louis C.K. was not, who he is today.
But
But
that's
but at the same time, if there are a bunch of, because there's a lot of, like, for a long time, and I don't know if it would still be true today. Like, that whole scene, the comedy scene, is very like aggressive, fucked up, dude centric. That's what all those guys are. They all got fucking problems. They all have, like, seems like, have gone through periods of just having shitty personal lives, of being kind of shitty people. So it's probably turned off a lot of people, both men and women. But I'm sure for chicks, like, having to deal with guys that have all sorts of weird sexual hang-ups, and that's probably sucks.
no, but
I'm not going to discount that,
Sarah
but
Silverman was cool with it. Sarah Silverman even said she's like, yeah, I would let him do it
she's
sometimes.
basically a dude. I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
but this is the thing: is like you can't. Women who act like women are not funny. They're not. Name me one.
I'm not having this discussion.
Even fucking Amy Schumer, not funny, but she acts more like a fucking dude, and she's successful because of it.
That's there's the thing, and it's kind of, and I don't think this is female centric. I think it's just a version of being lazy. Is that a lot of female comedians, and a lot of you. This is not just female
Who is the
comedians. This is
funniest female stand-up comedian, Sean?
This
Who's
is
your favorite?
This is Kathleen Madigan's really funny. What's
Ugh,
the woman who does all the voices?
Wanda Sykes.
Not Wanda Sykes is pretty funny.
Yeah, she's pretty alright.
What's
But
her
she's
name?
a tough
Maria Bamford.
broad.
Maria Bamford is kind of funny.
Are they tough? Are they tough women though? They're
No,
like
Maria
tough.
Bamford's not at all. She's like a.
You know? What about that Nikki Glaser chick? Never watched her
Anyways,
stuff.
Nikki Glaser is okay. I don't know. I'm not a
What?
huge Nikki Glaser fan. What I'm
Who are the
saying is,
best comedians, Sean?
who are the best
Men.
ones?
Men.
Because I'm a dude, and I'm going to think that I'm going to see, because I more identify with their worldview.
There's
That's
a
the
reason
truth.
why dudes get paid more. Okay, it's not sexism.
Okay, damn. No, I would say there's a lot of laziness when it comes to, like, female anything out in pop culture these days, because they basically just take a woman and they say, okay, act like a dude, and then that's a progressive woman. And you're like, that's not interesting. That's just lazy to me. That's just lazy writing. I think a lot of female comedians fall into the lazy writing trap. Amy Schumer, you go back and watch at least the first couple seasons of her sketch show. There's some really funny shit in there, man. There really is, like, sincerely just funny shit. It's not all gold, and she's not the only writer on that show.
She's
But
fucking trash. Okay, she's trash.
but there is some funny shit on there.
I've never seen her.
It was
sketch
before it was like right as she was ascending, right? It was right
Yeah.
before she was not who she is now, which is kind of, she fucked herself. She got, I don't know if it's arrogance or if it's bad agents or bad
got
guidance. Man. Well,
They let her go.
that's because she had a kid.
Nah. She was doing that before. Maybe she was working.
Well, but she's always been kind of chubby, except when she was in her, like, early 20s. But it just, I don't know. I don't know what is the deal. I mean, I would say this in general, man. This was really refreshing because it has been a fucking wasteland. I have kind of almost, like, I feel like I'm turning on comedians. I'm just getting so sick of the circle jerk. They all have podcasts, and they all just do each other's podcasts, and they just talk about how awesome it is to be a comedian. You're like, this is so fucking boring. It was interesting 5 years ago when this was kind of a new, I'm like, oh, this is interesting. It's cool to see the insights of, like, building a set or building an hour or whatever. But man, I have checked out of almost all of them. Almost all of those podcasts. I can't even, like, maybe Your Mom's House very occasionally, because I think they have their own. Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. Your Mom's House kind of has its own aesthetic, its own style, and they look at TikTok videos, and it's not just about the insular nature, circular world of being a wealthy comedian. Like, I think that hampers a lot of those podcasts, and it just gets.
I don't listen to any of them. I listen to Joey Diaz once in a while. He has some people on that are interesting, and I like Joey Diaz.
Yeah, but you have in the past. I mean, we all have
Like
listened to, like, Tiger Belly, fucking.
I like Tiger Belly though. Tiger Belly's good. They had Sasha Grey on there the other day. That was a fun episode.
See, there you go. You're one of these people. You're these comedian fans.
Well, I mean,
You got a T. Where's your Tiger Belly T-shirt?
I just like his show. I liked his yeah. right?
No,
I
I
like
like
his stuff. I
I
just like
like
his podcast. I think it's
yeah.
fun.
I like when he has actually when he has the old cast members from Mad TV. There's actually a lot of fun stuff, a lot of fun stories and shit from making Mad TV.
Like, dude, fucking that guy's a wild man. That dude's like 50 years old. He's done shit, and I like it.
But like when comedians now, they all think they're Joe Rogan. They like try to hold court and
I
like
don't think anyone thinks they're Joe Rogan, dude.
they think they are. Do they think they have Joe Rogan? Well, Joe Rogan. They misunderstand what makes Joe Rogan impactful. It's Joe Rogan talks to people that he exposes people to some of the brightest minds in the world.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't just have his friends on. Like
Fucking, he had Eric Weinstein on there the other day,
it's
losing
great.
his mind.
But that was a great podcast.
Losing it.
I
No,
almost
it was.
posted that to the Zoobox page. I was like,
You should have.
This is fucking rad. Because
Did
I mean,
you
that
see-
last hour was amazing.
Intense. Yeah, it's but is
I
it
want
bullshit?
to actually. I was
don't
gonna
know.
go. I don't know either because I don't know, but it sounds fun.
I mean, he
I'm gonna
doesn't
wa-
even know. But yeah.
I actually put it in my save for watch later. Right before we got on of his new episode of The Portal, which I actually listened to. The Portal. It's a good podcast.
Yeah, I do too sometimes. He had Riley Reid on there, the porn star.
Yeah, and that was an okay episode. It was
Yeah,
kind of
it was fine. You just know.
porn's just not that. I think they have
There's some interesting people in porn. It happens.
Sure. I don't. She was kind of vacant, is what I mean. I don't think she's a dumb person. She's just not like that interesting to listen to talk. That's all.
She gets butt fucked for a living, dude. Sick.
That is the most interesting thing you could possibly do.
I would marry a porn star. I would do it.
Oh my god.
Oh, I would. Listen, dude. Listen.
Anyways, I want to watch his the podcast he was talking about of his presentation from like 15 years ago that he's putting out for the first time and it's gonna blow everyone's mind. I put it on my save to watch thing.
Wait, he put it out?
I think I'm gonna watch it.
Oh, that might be a bed thing. I might be putting that on for bed.
April 2nd. It's 2 hours and 48 minutes long, dog.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! I can listen to it like a half hour and fall asleep.
Dude, I think I'm gonna go grab a glass of whiskey. I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna post up somewhere in the house, in a closet somewhere. I can be left the fuck alone, and you know what I mean. You know how it is.
Oh yeah.
You know, you know what it's like that.
My whole house is a closet by myself.
Pretty
fucking amazing.
Are you saying you're in the closet right now?
I'm fucking trying to get out, dude, for years.
Good.
Yeah. You fucking faggot. Yeah. There's like, dude, literally I was talking to my neighbor, not going to disclose my location, but I am in Alabama, as some people may know. And like, we were talking and because, we haven't talked in a while, the COVID-19 shit. So
yeah,
I'm sitting out there smoking a cigarette. And he goes, "Hey man, go get one." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, dude. I know you lost your job. I'm good. I'm solid. I'll help you out." So I hand him one and we're talking and he goes, "Yeah, man, fucking saw these fucking two dudes last week walking up the hill. Because we have like basically right across the street is there's like a back parking lot to this house. Because it's like on this hill. So I don't know. I didn't know that. And he was telling me. He goes, "Yeah, these fucking two dudes walked up there. We're up there for an hour. I want to tell you what, dude, they were walking like straight faggots if I've ever fucking seen it." And I was just like, "Really? What makes you think?" He's like, "Dude, faggot walk, dude. They walk like a bunch of fucking faggots."
He's like, "No, why don't you show me?"
Yeah, right. You want to take a walk, man? You show me how it goes. You know so much about this, but yeah, I was just sitting there. I was like, that was an interesting moment. And it's such a great. What is the word where it's like jumbo shrimp? It's followed by something that is I can't remember the term. If you call no motherfucker what? It's in English. Like if it's called jumbo shrimp is small, jumbo's big.
Oh, juxtaposition.
No, I don't think that's it. That doesn't sound right at all.
To juxtapose something.
I have no idea, dude. I don't fucking know. I thought you would know. You know English and shit.
Well, let me tell you something.
I'm an English Comp 1, dude. I don't know this shit. Okay.
I think you're looking. If you're talking about like a juxtaposition, it's a jumbo shrimp.
Yeah, that's probably it. You're probably right. It just doesn't sound right to me, because I don't know. But it just feels like a bad word.
Well, I can wear glasses. So
yeah. But it was funny. Straight faggot. I was like, how does walk like a straight faggot?
Oh, like it's like a contradiction, like a misnomer, like
yeah. There's like a word. It's like hyperbole. I don't know. I know that's not it, but
they're contradicting words, right?
Yeah, but there's a certain
intention
frame.
is. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's unimportant.
I had a weird conversation like that with my neighbor too. I got a hillbilly neighbor, and he means well. He's kind of a fucking idiot, but he means well. He caught me outside one time. Caught me, and I call it the rich trap. Talking to me, he's like all fucked up because he's an alcoholic. He's out. He lives on disability with his wife, who also is on disability. He takes opioids because he takes painkillers. Smokes weed. Anyways, so he must have been really fucked up because we had never really had a real conversation before. He's like, man, I used to be really fucking racist. He's like, now I'm only like I'm like a 6 or a 5 now. I used to be like a 10. I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? So this is what the virus is doing, is bringing people that you would normally.
He's a white supremacist trying to make you feel. He's like, but he doesn't want you to think he's full blown. He wants to bring you into the void, into the full.
I totally did the.
Oh yeah! Wow.
Enlightened white guy. I was like, well, man. Times like this, it makes you realize you're all in the same boat, brother. You can't be like that. You don't want to think like that. Yeah, just like the enlightened white guy.
Not the slave boat by me. I'm not saying it like that. You misunderstood me.
Yeah. No, but, he's like, yeah, I'm trying to get in touch with God. I do a lot of praying now. Great.
He did it once for 5 minutes. I'm trying to do
great.
It, man. He's trying to be a better person.
And then I had to yell at him because he burned shit in his backyard, and he let it smolder for a couple days. I was like, especially we're in quarantine, I can't leave my fucking house.
I just can't
it blows
believe
in my
that.
backyard. Well, it's illegal. He might not have realized that because he's that dumb. So I told him, he was receptive to what I was saying. I will give him credit for that. He was just like, I'm so sorry, man. I didn't mean to do that. I was like, because he was like, where's your kid? I haven't seen your kid in a couple of days. I was like, yeah, Rich, I had fucking smoke blowing through my backyard for 3 days. Let that shit smolder for 3 days, man. That shit's fucking ain't right.
I just don't. Brother. I feel like this shit's doing it all the time because you talk about it all the time.
Well, because I have 2 neighbors that do it.
You get double.
It starts with leaves, and then
why don't you?
Boxes,
hey, I'm just saying,
and
then
dude. Plastic, and then I'm like, yo, dude, fuck, I have a 2-year-old kid, dude. We have a right to be in our backyard. We have a service. We literally have a service that you drop the shit on the curb and it
call the police. That's what I say.
I'm trying not to. This is the first time I ever. Oh well, hold on. This is the first time I ever talked to him about it, because it's the first time it was like in conjunction where I actually it happened, and then I saw him right after it. Normally, I'll see him like a week later. So, and by that time, I had forgot. I moved on with my life. But so I'll see what he does. If he's gonna be respectful, I'd rather everybody get along. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that neighbor. I don't want to be like that.
But you're not being the neighbor. He
oh no!
Is being the neighbor.
Now it's in his court.
But now you have to deal with the other one.
Yeah, that old lady. I'm gonna have to shut her ass down, dude. Because I saw she got a barrel full of wicker baskets, and I'm like, what the fuck? Lacquered wicker baskets. I'm like,
why don't you just go tell her?
Throw it in your trash can, you dumb bitch.
Why don't you just go tell her?
I just don't see them. I don't see them very often.
You're not.
And it's out of
hello.
But it's out of sight, out of mind. Like until it's happening, you're just like, I don't even think about it. But anyways,
man, I would be fucking over there, be like, hey, lock that shit up. Got fucking babies over here.
Trash can, you fuck. But yeah, I mean, comedy's a wild thing, man.
Yeah. Back to the back to the comedy. Back to the comedy. Yeah, go check out Sincerely, man. It's $8 on louisck.com or whatever.
Yeah, I would say it's on par with 2017.
If you like Louis C.K., you will like this.
Yeah,
absolutely.
If you think he's a dirty rapist or whatever, because
you will also like it.
You will like it, except for when he doesn't cop to it.
Also, I think people should, really just give him a chance, man. Put him back into the fold. He's done his time. I'm waiting for Kevin Spacey's time. Waiting for it all. I want to see the last. Did you hear?
Pete Davidson said he was an asshole. Said he was a douchebag. Said he was mean to him.
Which one's Pete? Really?
Oh, Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
Said that about Louis C.K. a couple weeks ago.
Fuck him. Whatever. Because Pete Davidson kind of looks like a douche. He kind of seems like a douche guy.
He still seems like a doucher.
I bet he was up there going, "Oh, hey man, I fucking really like your shit, dude. Like you're fucking so good." And
Louis, get away from me!
Yeah, no, I'm sure Louis was like, "Thanks." That's exactly how you. Yeah, cool.
I wouldn't even put out for you, buddy.
Yeah. I don't know. I would definitely say it's worth it, and it's $8. It's worth your money, and you get to keep it.
Yeah.
I didn't read it when I bought it, so
Yeah, me
You know what
neither.
I mean?
But
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
how it's always been. The stuff on his website, you just keep it.
Sick. It's so
Also, he
sick.
doesn't have a rental service.
Yeah, that's great. So I say go watch it, dude.
Not Blockbuster Video, Dan. Okay,
It's definitely not.
he's
Definitely not.
not. Yeah, he's a man. He's just a man.
He's just a man.
Why are you
No,
trying to treat him like he's Blockbuster Video?
he's still worth millions of dollars. He's just chilling.
Well, I wish he actually took out some of those bits, like from the leaked one, because
Mhm.
he's like, "How was your year? I lost $40 million, whatever."
Yeah.
He's like, "Your year is no way. Your year was as bad as my
Yeah.
year."
Yeah. Fucking
And I
poor people.
I was wish he had. I wanted to see the full version, like the completed version of the Parkland bit. What he made for, he's like, basically talking about the child activists
Oh,
that
Hog.
came out, Hogg and his other cohorts. I don't remember any of their names because
Yeah.
that doesn't matter. But he was just like, that's not impressive. You're a child. Like, why the fuck would I listen to you about anything? You don't know. Just because you push some fat kid down so you can get away from a shooter
Yeah. I
doesn't mean
did hear
I,
that. I
I
forgot.
should
Yeah.
fucking take your word about anything,
Oh yeah.
let alone gun policy. But
Well, all I know is that Louis C.K.'s back, and I'm glad he's back. Already talks. HBO is going to bring him back, supposedly.
who are
Uh,
Shafir?
HBO.
Oh, HBO's.
HBO wants to bring him back.
Oh, of course they do. They're all
Did my
just
job.
waiting for the moment, dude, where they're not going
Yeah.
to be crucified for it. I
Yeah, it's
think
just the time. He
if
jerked
any,
off in front of people, dude. And then we'll just wait to see how long it takes Harvey to get back in. It might take a couple years.
well, he's already had the COVID, so
Yeah, I mean, he's probably dead. They just haven't told us yet.
no, that would be a pretty big story, I think.
Founder of Miramax and
Yeah.
rapist.
When he's like 95, Harvey gets
Yeah.
to come back to produce Titanic 2.
Yeah, some crazy shit. No, Pulp
Goodwill.
Fiction 2, like some shit. Like
Good Will Hunting 2.
Quentin Tarantino accepted his apology. But
And now
I
they're
don't
making
know.
Kill Bill Volume 5. Tarantino's coming out of retirement.
Yeah, again. Again. Daniel
He said
Day-Lewis,
he,
again.
he said he would only do it for his good friend Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah. Well, hey, what can I say? I do think Louis C.K. got a bad deal, and he literally jerked off with permission.
Well, yeah.
With permission.
But you know that, like, at some point in his career, people felt pressured to say yes.
Listen, I don't give a fuck, dude. Listen, if anybody in your life, though, I understand.
That's what makes it irresponsible. That's all.
Nah, but listen. If
No.
anybody in your life,
No.
let's say, I'm going to tell you right now, if a friend, and I was a girl, let's say a girl came and said, "Can I masturbate for you? It's the only way I can get off." Like, yeah, it'd be pressure. It'd be pressure. Just friendship alone is pressure.
Yeah. Okay.
So, like, you just
amplify that by 1,000,000.
Why is it 1,000,000? I don't think that's fair.
Because, like, a person that has like a cachet, a celebrity, or is on their way up is a
When was the
successful
last time he
person.
did it?
Because I have no idea. But what I'm saying is,
But that matters.
no, it wasn't. I don't know, Dan. I'm just saying, at some point, if he was still doing it, at some point, it becomes kind of irresponsible. It becomes inconsiderate because he's not asking randos. Like, he's asking people that work with him, that are in the industry with him, and he's becoming an up and coming dude. So even if he didn't mean to, right? Like, say you were like, "Nah, man, I'm good," and then he kind of just put it in the back of his mind. He's like, "Oh, fuck that bitch." And then she goes and tries to get a job, and it's maybe he doesn't even mean to, but he just now has a negative impression. That's
Come
how
on,
it
would be so embarrassing if someone said no, and how many times he was probably turned down.
That's right, Dan. They don't say no because they can't, because he has a gun. His car.
Sarah Silverman would say no all the time. So she's like, no. Sometimes I would say yes. Sometimes I would say no, and it would be it.
They were coming up together. They were peers. I mean, him and Sarah are peers.
Who? Come on, man.
In the writers' room.
Where's the accountability of the individual?
It's all perspective, man. Like, not everybody in the writers' room is on the same fame level as Sarah Silverman and Louis C.K. They're peers.
I understand that, but they're not peers anymore.
Louis C.K. was doing it like a couple years ago, being like, "Yo, Sarah, remember those times in the 90s?"
He might have been. He might have been. He might have been doing that shit. We don't know that.
That's how he goes, "Oh." What if that's the way he jerks off? What if he just?
It could be, and that would just be. That's why I would call it out on him. Like, you scared me, dude. You were fucking terrifying.
It's not the masturbation that I'm concerned about. It's the terrifying face.
I just think it's disingenuous for someone who's an adult who can't stand up for themselves. That just sucks. I'm not saying, hey, dude, like, that's just my personal take on it. I just think, like, if
I
someone,
understand that.
I would never ask a subordinate to watch me
Why?
masturbate.
Why
I
not?
just personally wouldn't.
Why
But I
not?
can sit there and say,
You
like,
think
well,
it's
when
wrong?
did he do it?
Do you think it's
Was
wrong?
he? No, I don't think it's not that it's wrong. It's just, to me, I wouldn't do it.
Why?
Because I wouldn't want to put someone in that position. I
Why?
personally wouldn't.
Why?
Sean, I know. I'm just saying, but if that person told me
That's what I'm
no,
saying. You have an objective moral standard
oh
where
my
you're
God.
like,
okay, then any person
Oh.
who gets hit on by their boss, whether it's a man or a woman, and they should not go through with it ever, even if they want to.
what?
Because who says that they didn't want to? Now it's fashionable and trendy to say they didn't want to.
No,
that's the problem.
No, dude, it just means it's inappropriate. It's just inappropriate. That's all it
Everything's
is.
inappropriate, dude. What's not inappropriate?
Lots of things, and that's a ridiculous statement. And you
Two
know it.
consenting adults.
Okay, well, I guess we're gonna agree to disagree because you're getting upset. It seems like.
No, two consenting adults.
Yeah. Okay.
That-
I mean, that's not how that works, and you know it doesn't. Like you just said, you wouldn't feel comfortable doing it, and you know you have an objective moral standard where you think it's like, no, it's probably not a good thing to do.
Yeah, but he also obviously has a problem. You don't know what point of life he was at when that happened.
Oh,
how many years ago it was?
Or famous masturbator. Oh my God. Oh, his
no,
problem.
but like
you have empathy for that, but not the other person.
No, it's not that I don't have empathy for the person. I'm saying that there has to be equal measured accountability. She could have not been there.
Okay.
Left.
Yeah. She could have disappeared in a puff of smoke.
She could have just walked out of the room. Like, I'm not doing this.
Magician. Well, there was one of the accounts said that he literally blocked them from the door from leaving.
Oh well.
Or would do it on the phone when he was talking to people, and they wouldn't.
Man. Oh, dude, it's terrible.
See, I mean, but that's the thing. But you want people to feel bad for Louis, but you're like, but fuck those people. I mean,
no, it's not fuck them. It's like, then you should have fucking left the situation. And then if it was such a serious situation back then you should have called people.
People's lives are tied to their professions and what they do and the jobs they hold.
It's called fucking do it.
People have lives that are just tied up in more things, and sometimes you can't just be like, nah, well, I gotta go. I can't do this anymore. Like, that's not the way it works, and that's why it makes it inappropriate. I mean,
right. But it's just like, I just don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair to put all the blame on Louis.
Well,
that's wrong.
Of course, all the blame is on Louis because he's the one who did it. But that doesn't mean the reaction. Doesn't mean the reaction is measured. It means, but he is responsible for it. Like, he is the one. He's the offending party.
It's not offensive. It should not be considered offensive if a person says yes.
That's not what the offending party means. It just means he's the one who did the thing that like people were upset about.
Yeah, no shit. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, if I have consensual sex and then they have regret about it later, that should not be okay because I supposedly had some sort of superior position or whatever.
No, that's different. If you like,
where do you draw the line?
There's a way. Because that's just different. I mean, that's way different.
But if you work with somebody, like, where do you draw the line? So you can only go peer to peer?
Nobody said that he raped anybody, Dan. They said that it was inappropriate. That's all they were saying. They were saying he was in a position and that he made people feel uncomfortable.
Then why did he get fired? Why did he do everything?
He didn't get fired. People just decided they're not going to work with him.
Then they canceled season 4 or whatever?
As I said, well, they indefinitely suspended it. I don't know if they canceled it. But that's what I mean. Like, it's not like the response maybe was not measured. I don't think the response to it was really measured because it's not. At the end of the day, this is pretty small potatoes in the larger scheme of these kinds of stories and whatnot.
Sorry, couldn't work for a fucking year.
I think that was way out of disproportionate. I don't think he deserved anything. Like I said in the beginning, I thought that was a nothing burger. There's no fucking story there. You had a bad date, like whatever. That's
the
it was thing. Not right. What those people did to him was completely unethical. I mean, completely unethical.
In my eyes, it is almost the same thing with Louis because I don't know the time frames of when he did it. Because if he's a writer for Conan or whatever at point was, like, when did this happen? What years did this happen? Was it recently.
He admitted to it all. Like, it's not like he was in
I
denial about
know,
it. He says
I
it's
know.
his
But someone's
thing.
got to stand up for Louis. You got to stand up for fucking Louis instead of
Louis,
everyone's standing up for the Me Too's. What about fucking Louis?
what about Louis and his movie, his weird pervy movie didn't get put out? Oh no.
Yeah, it sucks.
I
And it's
saw
just
it.
like
You
I
can
didn't
find
watch
it.
it.
It's out there.
Yeah, I know it's probably out there, but there's just accountability of both parties and a consensual agreement. I understand there's a power complex there, which can confuse things. Absolutely. But that narrative can change at any moment to the supposed victim, and that's the problem I have with it, is they
Yeah,
wait until the Me Too movement is in full fucking swing, cancel culture's at everywhere, then they release it like a fucking virus.
Yeah, of course, that was made as a giant hit piece. I mean, they were working on that story for probably a while.
Fucking
And Louis knew about
crazy.
it. Louis actually knew they were writing the story.
Oh, I'm sure.
He just didn't. But you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen because I think he canceled either going to a movie. I think he canceled the movie premiere, or canceled going to his movie premiere because he knew the story was going to drop.
And Kevin Hart can go out and commit adultery and fucking cheat on his wife, get videos and everything, and then no one looks at him. I mean, it was bad PR.
Yeah, but that is literally just people having sex, and he's being unfaithful to his wife. That's his fucking business. That's not people he works with.
That's illegal. That's illegal.
All right, well, fine. Throw him in jail. I'm glad you agree. I think Kevin Hart should have been put in prison for some of the movies he makes.
For 30 years at least.
100. Make it 1,000.
They should have just made a long version of that old Eddie Murphy movie when they go to jail.
Life. Forever.
Life 2.0 or whatever. But no, I just sitting there going like, people need to be accountable for the interactions that they partake in, when it's consensual at the time. Whether the power complex is there, I understand the complexities of that. But that would be like me being a boss, and yes, I have an employee or manager, and they always say you're not allowed to go, fuck down. You can only fuck across.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But like, things happen, and then guess what? What happens when that person gets upset at you? And then they go, he forced me. And then it's like, dude, what the fuck?
No, of course. Not everybody is like.
That's what happened to Louis.
Yes and no.
Actually, girls laughing at him when he comes. But they're laughing at him.
You don't. I mean, honestly, and I agree with that. I think that's probably some of the time it was like that. But we don't know. We don't have any idea. There's no way to actually say that with any certainty. And like I said, I don't think it's that big of a thing. And maybe that makes me a bad person or whatever. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it really fucking matters all that much. But we were talking about just the response to it. I think the response was fucking way crazy. It's so ridiculous. But at the same time, I do understand what is probably, I can, or at least sympathize with the aspect of feeling like a weird pressure because of his position in the industry, whatever. Not so much in the 90s.
Was he at when this happened?
Well, that's what I wanted. There's stuff that goes. Well, there's stuff that goes all the way up through when he was on Parks and Rec and stuff like that. I mean, it's.
I mean, 2009, 2010, before Louis.
Probably in that. No, when did Louis start? 2010.
Probably, but I'm not sure. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't have sympathy in all actuality.
He should have kept it between his friends.
But it's just like, dude, come on. Like, he jerked off. Yeah. Like, if he asked you and you could have been, a lot of people, you should be able to say no. And just
I guarantee you most people probably did. Most people probably would. Sure.
Yeah, because then it wouldn't be a kink. It wouldn't be fun. If everyone said yes, it would be like,
no, that's what I mean. It's like a deviant behavior. Like, I don't need to make exceptions for it because, that's not a normal thing. Yes,
it is normal.
It's not normal. It's not normal to be like, hey, shame watch me while I masturbate.
Yeah, why? Some people get off on that's okay. You're into it, man. Whatever. Some people like getting their fucking balls kicked in. Not me.
Yeah, but by definition, you call that deviant behavior. Deviant has a negative connotation.
Those are oppressive words. I bet you call transgender people deviant too, don't you? And homosexuals. You're probably like, those deviants.
They're abnormal in the sense that they are not the norm. Just words, baby.
No, but I mean, hey, dude, deviant behavior or not, we all have that deviant part of ourselves. That is not, and that's what he hits home run in this special. He's like, dude, no one knows your thing. Everybody knows mine. And I think that's fair. And that's something that goes, if it never would have came out, but the reason why it came out and they worked on it for years to make sure they had to validate their sources, right? And do all that shit. Because you can trust the mainstream media really to fucking do that today. Well, like you can really ensure.
It depends. I mean, there's investigative journalists that do good work. There's no investigative journalists that actually did good work, and the work that was done was really pathetic. Well, and that's however you feel about Kavanaugh. Like, at least the guy deserve to be. It's like
40 years before, right? Something 50 or 30 years before. Dr. Blasey Ford.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know. Somebody was it the guy who did the Weinstein story? Fucking.
Whatever his name is, Ronan Farrow.
That's right. He did some really like a hatchet job version, which sucks because he did such a good job with the other thing. That's like, man, you're like undermining your own credibility because you want to be part of the moment. Like, it's like why? But anyways.
Yeah. It's a problem.
But yeah, dude. I mean, Louis. I mean, basically rate me while I watch this, but
I want my money.
I should have turned it off. I should have turned it off.
And why wouldn't Louis just pay these people? Let's get this shit going.
I mean, just be an adult and pay him like Bill O'Reilly. Like
$20 million. Like, come on.
Can you please $20 million and pay him?
I'm gonna tell you right now. I would let him fuck me for some money. Like
I don't think he fucked him. I think he just like fucking said nasty shit to him on the phone.
I want to fucking. That's what I'm saying. That's probably what Louis like.
I want to put a couple scoops of vanilla ice cream in your dirty butthole.
Yeah.
And eat it out.
Make like fudge. A fudge sundae.
Fudge Mountain, baby.
Yeah. I don't know. Hey, dude, like, Louis C.K. is good in my books. I don't think what he did was 100% wrong. I think both adults. I think both adults have to be accountable in every interaction.
I think you see a woman on the street, you see her walking, you say, "Hey, I like that." You pull it out in front of her, and you get what's yours.
Did he always pull? He always asked permission from what the reports are, right?
Yeah, no, like I said, I do.
Permission, baby, and he should ask, "Are you sure?"
Well, that bit was hilarious.
That's the dangerous side of the Me Too movement. Yes isn't good enough anymore. Yes isn't good enough, and that's the problem I have with that.
Well, there's that. I mean, that's a larger like Title IX, all that stuff that happens in colleges. There's all sorts of crazy shit. That happens both to men and women. Not just men. Like
99% women, men.
No, I think it's actually. I think it's like 50-50 or some crazy shit.
Men report sexual assault on women.
Yeah, they have been.
Maybe it's retaliatory. I never saw it once.
Maybe that's the military. You're not talking about a fucking liberal arts college.
18 to 25.
Yeah, I'm talking. But a liberal arts college or a place like that, they're going to be more likely to be like.
You gotta have a bunch of faggots up there getting fucked by chicks, getting all mad about it.
This chick has been fucking harassing me all day with the text messages. I fucked her, but I mean, I didn't want to. I didn't like it.
That kind of throws the whole rape myth culture thing out. But listen, Louis C.K. is a hero. He should have never gotten in trouble. Hey, you know what they should have done? Fined him. Something. Like, hey, you're getting fined. Like, that's it. Like, a fine, like baseball. Like, he got 3 strikes and he didn't even really get to bat. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't even get to go up, like, go fight it, do like the way you should. Through the legal system. Get some fucking money, dude. Let's do this like adults. Don't go out, like, expose them, ban them. But what the balls, no balls. And no one's got balls anymore because they don't want to be viewed as people who support a jerking off guy. A guy who jerks off, like. You know what I mean?
We don't support jokers in this.
Yeah. No.
Don't do it. It's not done.
We'll keep Harvey Weinstein around for 20, 30 years, but...
Yeah, but he's a fucker, though, man. He's not a jerker.
But they keep him around for fucking what everyone knew. And it's still...
Well, knew enough in the sense of that he was aggressive with women or had a thing for, Obviously, he's a rich dude. I mean, like...
But is it like...
Ugly rich guy?
Trump said you can grab him by the pussy. Maybe it's true. Harvey Weinstein out there testing the theories, testing the waters, got in trouble, got caught up.
That's probably America's greatest stand-up working right now is Donald Trump. But
I fucking love it, dude. I mean, every day it's gold.
Did you see what he said about the modeling? He's like, I've never had anything to do with models. He's like, well, not this kind of model. And then he kept going, like didn't even miss a beat. I was like, wow.
Love it. No, but it's true. That's true. He's
crazy.
stating facts, dude. You can't hate Trump for stating facts, baby.
I mean, people are always saying that he's a liar. I don't think he's lying this time.
No, right? But it's definitely one of these things where counterculture is dying. I think this counterculture PC stuff is dying. People are going to get back.
Yeah, it'll come back. It'll just be the Overton window has been shifted enough where it's not going to be like it was, but
encroachment. Yeah. No, it will be like it was.
It's just no. But what I'm saying is it's incremental. So now we're just further over towards the progressive PC stuff. Now we're just closer to that than we were before. Maybe only a couple inches, but we're closer.
I don't even know.
Like
really,
kids don't
though?
even. I was talking to my friend. I wasn't on this. Okay, I was talking to my friend. I said our kids are never even gonna know the joy of walking up to their buddy and saying, "What you doing, you stupid faggot? Why are you being so gay?"
If you raise them right, they will.
No, but that's just not even going to be in their nomenclature. It's not even a thing anymore.
Oh yes, it will, dude. Boys.
I don't even say it. I don't even talk like that anymore. I don't.
Well, grow the fuck up. I don't know what to tell you.
And but it's I don't. For me, it wasn't like being self-censorious. It was just I just grew out of it. And then you have less of your faggot friends around. There's nobody to call faggot.
And it's getting hard out there for pimps, dude. Yeah. And I just say I support sex work. I support Louis C.K. jerking off. I support abortion. I support every terrible thing in this world. I support it.
I support it 100%.
I'm a troll. I am a troll. And that's maybe why I really love Louis C.K. because
there's a little bit of a trolly aspect to what he
everything he does.
The special, I think the special is a little bit of a troll. I actually think you might be onto something with the sincerely is more of like fuck you.
Yeah, sincerely.
I think there's probably a little truth to that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
because his whole thing is I don't really apologize, right? So sincerely, I'm not being sincere. It's a perverse.
And that's and the blogosphere is like on fire. Even people that you wouldn't think would have a problem with it, like we're like upset at him for not being more direct about the scandal. I was just like, well, I mean, he's just trying to move on. He just wants to do his thing. And why would he change his entire like style of comedy and the way he does things for something that he feels is like
it's not wrong. Yeah, it's not wrong. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. That's what I'm saying. I'm on Louis' side, 100%.
I'm on his side in the sense of like he shouldn't have had life destroyed.
Whole thing. If you ask someone you can jerk off in front of them, they say yes, then you can do it. Should not be punished. Nothing should happen. Oh, you're saying he asked for your consent, and then he did it after getting your consent? Well, yeah. You're being a fucking child right now. You're being a fucking.
Well, I don't think nobody. Yeah, but nobody said that he had not consented. The story was just about like the secret he had, and that he had done it to a bunch of people. Honestly, I don't even know if the story itself was like calling for cancellation. It's just the culture that we had lived in at the time was so heightened. It was definitely released the time it was on purpose. Oh, yeah. But the culture was so heightened. Like culture did that. Culture fucked Louis. It wasn't even the story or the allegations. It was like people being like equating doing that to being a rapist.
Why even bring it up? Why even tell the story that he likes to jerk off in front of people?
Because a reporter came and asked them. That's the journalist is the one that is responsible for the creation of the story.
You're right on that. Okay, so we need to fire the journalist for doing this, Louis.
I know. They could be held accountable for anything they fucking do.
Jim Acosta, go fuck yourself. Fucking hate him, dude.
All right, Jim, let's go. Yeah, let's do it.
He's annoying, dude. He's so annoying.
He is annoying. He is awesome.
He wasn't there today, thank God. Thank God. At least I didn't hear him.
Yeah, he's just annoying. He's just a distraction because it's so self-aggrandizing. It's just about.
Hey, all right, we'll talk about this after the podcast. People need to go because we know they're listening still, so we need to get them out of the
Sincerely, $7.99. Go to louisck.com and support this not rapist masturbator.
Yep.
He needs you. His kids need you. He has children. He has 2 daughters to feed.
Yeah.
What are you doing canceling Louis C.K.?
Yeah.
He's only got $50 million left in the bank. It's running out.
It's running out quick, dude.
He spent all of his time in France masturbating in front of beautiful French women, and then he got one. It's a wonderful story.
So quit being a faggot and go watch your special.
Good night.